Yeah, I'm so mad at you. Molly needs to know she's on thin ice.
I can feel that I'm on thin ice with you today.
Thin fucking ice.
What the
Hello and welcome to Social Suicide with Monica and Molly.
Woo! The podcast where by just putting mics in front of our face, we try not to get ourselves canceled.
Yeehaw, bitch.
Cut the mics, cut the camera.
It's already happened.
It already happened. It just happened. How are you, Monica?
I think about that because
nothing
we say is that crazy.
Well,
but in 10 years, nothing I say is that crazy. But in 10 years, when we're wild little famous people gallivanting around town.
We have families.
We have families.
We're, what is it? We're, flaunting our money in front of other
people.
Oh,
yeah. I'm going to get blood, like ox blood thrown on me because of something I said on this fucking podcast.
Oh, yeah. No, same. Tar and feather to me.
I'm going to be like, okay.
Their dead ass it's going to be worse than Amy Schumer for me, I feel like.
Amy Schumer keeps coming back, though.
The roach that won't die.
Oh. Oops.
Listen, I have no beef with Amy Schumer. Personally, I thought her, from a comedic standpoint, I thought her special at the Apollo was like some of her like best work. Mm-hmm. Besides that, not much for me. You know, some of from Inside Amy Schumer is funny,
right?
I think also, why does everyone hate Amy Schumer?
That's a really good question that like actually gets to the heart of it. Because it's like people are like, oh, I don't like her comedy, she's annoying, but it's like, but why do you really not like her? And it's probably because we're, as a society, overly critical of women, which we've talked about before, women in the spotlight, and I'm also so guilty of that.
Oh, same.
That's why I'm like, Amy Schumer's like built an empire and everything. Part of why I'm not a fan of hers particularly, I don't hate her, but I don't like her, you know?
Same.
And it's like, this is something that maybe is a mutual curb stomp for us because like something that pisses me the fuck off that I've allegedly heard about Amy Schumer is that she's a nightmare to work for.
Yes, that I was going to say the same thing that I've known someone who was her assistant.
Yeah.
She was fucking awful to work for. She maybe holds on to an assistant for like a month.
Yeah.
Like she's like a little fucking Scott Rudin running around apparently.
Seriously, yeah.
Apparently she's fucking awful to work for.
And like that's the shit that pisses me off that makes me want to curb stomp a bitch because like you can have whatever, like I could think that your comedy isn't that good or I could not like the content you put out, you know, like film and television. But at the end of the day, like, I'm just an individual and she's built an empire, you know? Like, but if you're not going to treat the people that work for you good, you're a fucking cockroach.
You're a fucking cockroach. Yeah.
The only other, like, I've heard from multiple assistants that she's not a good person to work for. But I also heard that she met her husband is one of her former assistant's brothers.
Oh.
Yeah. So like she met her husband through
an assistant. That's so odd.
I know. But it might have been early on in her career or earlier before she became a nightmare to work for.
Maybe.
She's also similar to Taylor Swift to me. Sorry to like bash your girl, but like where they love to use feminism as a weapon to be like, you can't criticize me because I'm a woman.
Yes. Yeah. I hate that too. I think we've discussed that Olivia Wilde does the same thing as well. That pisses me the fuck off too.
That said, in the news this week, Amy Schumer was like brought up because she has done some press for her show and she has like a puffy face.
Yeah.
And she said, and like, you know, it was like big headlines and then somebody asked her about it and she was like, I wish that like that wasn't something like, why do I have to like look perfect for you guys to like take me seriously.
And she was saying that she thinks people don't like her because of the way she looks. But a lot of people in the comments were like, oh, no, it's because you're a Zionist.
Oh, that's the other thing that makes me want to curb stomp her. Yeah.
I think she also said tone deaf stuff during the pandemic. I can't recall what she said, but I remember being really pissed off about her during the pandemic. And she's also worked with Scott Rudin in the past, so I dead ass.
You know that she's not a good person.
I know that she's not a good person.
Yeah, and she.
I think people can just sense that. Too.
Absolutely, I like authenticity is so not like just contained to in-person meetings. I think that you can feel that through internet videos and interviews and shit like that. On the topic of her remarks, she always doubles down. She's like J.K. Rowling.
Oh no.
You know, where it's just like, no, I'm right. And then never apologizes, never like is like, hey, I saw the error of my ways, or like I did some research and I realized I was ignorant in saying that, you know.
Yeah.
They're just like, no, I'm right. Like, I bet that her PR team is like, what if you didn't? She's like, I don't apologize. I fully believe that for her.
She's probably fucking awful to work for.
Yeah. Well, there's our curb stomp right away.
And there's our mutual curb stomp. Molly and Monica's mutual curb stomp list. Yeah.
Yeah. How are you doing, Molly?
Bitch. I don't want to go back to work.
Yeah.
Dog.
You're losing it.
Dude, I'm losing it. And I recently, in our last episode, you told me to watch 7, and I watched 7.
Over the course of 2 weeks.
Over the course of 2 weeks, because I can't fucking finish shit. But I finally sat in.
Proud of you.
Well, thank you. It's a great movie, but I did realize that my anger issues are so similar to Brad Pitt's character in 7.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm the most annoying individual because he's so annoying to deal with.
Yeah.
Like, stop losing your cool.
No.
Like, stop losing your cool. Like, Morgan Freeman's like really holding it down.
Yeah.
And then Brad Pitt is like, this guy's butt fucking us. And that's me every day.
Yeah. Am I the Morgan Freeman
I think
to
so.
your Brad Pitt?
I think so.
I'm going to superimpose their heads over us.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for doing that to you.
Why do I have to be Morgan Freeman? I love him to death, but
I thought he was so great in that movie.
he's so good.
Now I'm watching Natural Born Killers. I believe Quentin Tarantino originally wrote the script and then sold it. So his name's not attached, but I believe the script was written by Quentin Tarantino. And so it has that little Quentin Tarantino kind of, what's the word?
Like tone and voice.
Tone and voice, yes.
I'm so like averse to Quentin Tarantino because
so many men are like up his ass.
It's just like that. That's like the aura of him. But I also think that like his stuff is just so male. Like it's the it's the white male perspective.
Oh yes.
And he's another guy that like the things that he writes and they're so violent, every single one of them. And it's like a fun violence, you know, because it is kind of like a heightened world where it's like human life doesn't matter that much, you know, like as in our reality, it does matter, but it's very jarring. And the way that like men love it so much and that he's always writing about that, I'm just like, man, all you fucking people, similar to the other conversation I had a couple episodes ago, I'm just like, if you weren't living in the 2000s, you would be a serial killer.
Oh, absolutely.
Like you just found a way to like channel that energy into something that's like not taking another human's life.
Yeah.
But like I could totally see Quentin Tarantino going on a fucking killing spree.
Oh, absolutely. Wasn't it in Glorious Bastards? It's him choking Diana Kruger and he like chokes the fuck out of her.
Yeah.
That's like sadistic.
Yeah.
And I also, this hilarious meme about Quentin Tarantino is that whenever he's at premieres or wherever he's sitting and like he's next to his like, you know, actors that are in his movie, he dead ass always thinks that he's the hottest person in the room. And it's like, you're not. And he's right next to like Brad Pitt and like Leonardo DiCaprio. And this man always, the way he sits and holds himself, he thinks he's the hottest man in the room.
Yeah.
I will say that Quentin Tarantino in like the 90s, I think him and, okay, I won't say it.
No, finish your thought.
Okay. Well, him and what's her name? Who was Kill Bill? Who was
Uma Thurman?
Uma Thurman. They dated. Mm-hmm. And I think around that time he was probably at his peak hotness of any kind of hot. I'm not saying that man is hot.
Oh, but that was the hottest he was. Yeah. Okay.
And would I have fucked him during that time? Maybe.
You've been known to like a medium ugly guy.
I have been well known to like a medium ugly guy for sure. But I think how we were just talking about Quentin Tarantino and also the like white male psyche and how it is inherently violent and kind of lacks empathy. If you want to look up the TikTok that I sent to you, I think this is okay. Let me set the scene. So I'm on TikTok. Mm-hmm. And it's a woman explaining of how she pretty much like wasted her time on this man. Okay. And then the comments, Monica, the comments of other women be like, oh, well, this is what this man did to me. This is what this man did to me. And I was like, jarred. Yeah. So.
Should I read this?
Yeah, read what, and then with the fucking song behind it.
Okay. This is for the audience. You think you can hurt me? The person I was with for 4 years and engaged to started dating another girl after we broke up and then proposed 2 months later with a ring that was very similar to mine and married her 2 weeks before the wedding date that we had set and made me feel like I wasted the best years of my life for nothing.
Go into the comments. I think it's the first two.
My fiance was secretly dating a coworker and left the day before our wedding. It gets so much better, I promise. The man I was with for 18 years cheated on me the same week our stillborn son was born.
That was the one that...
Men are not worthy of our love. Wow.
Isn't that nuts?
7 years with my ex, and he got engaged to my cousin within 3 months after we split.
There was another one on there that was... he left me for my best friend, and she helped me shop for my wedding dress. We're so mean to each other, dog.
We are.
But men hold a very straight white men. There's just a certain dark. They're dark sided.
There's a darkness to them.
They're so dark sided.
My stomach is just on the floor, and it was already not feeling. I already had a tummy ache. They're not worthy of our love.
No, they're not worthy of our fucking love. We should call my therapist Celia.
That'd be fun to do an episode with a therapist.
I feel like she would actually agree, though.
Yeah, pitch it to her next time you talk.
I can't. The fact that, listeners and viewers, I reached back out to my therapist.
Woo!
What did he say?
It's all of those feelings at once.
Rock on. We love that.
Especially this one.
Molly McNulty. Linebacker. Back in therapy. Her name's Cecilia. So fucking stupid. If anyone has been to therapy, you know that is a fucking heavy lift. It's a heavy fucking lift. Mm-hmm. Especially.
What if we're not funny anymore once you?
No, trust me, I got a lot of trauma. This is generational. All right, this trauma's getting passed the fuck down.
Yeah.
But what Celia said to me the other day, after I told her like the most like traumatizing past couple of months of me dating, and especially this like one instance with this guy that left me pretty shook. Mm-hmm. But I handled it a lot better than I would have in the past, and it was a great learning lesson and all this stuff. And after we got done, she goes, "Hey, but you got material out of it."
Oh, Celia. She knows you did it for the plot.
She basically said, I know you did it for the plot, and I'm proud of you for doing it for the plot.
She said, great story.
Great story. Keep it going.
Can I see you next week?
Yeah, no, she ate that whole hour. Yeah. She was hyped that whole hour.
Yeah.
She was hyped. And she was like, you're just like my other client. 2 very intimidating women.
She said that to you?
I didn't want to tell her and be like, hey, you just hit another little trauma
right.
spot right there. I've been called intimidating since I was like 10 years old. So.
Yeah.
I always want to know and be like, so what am I like technically diagnosed with?
That's a good question to ask her.
Yeah, I guess so.
I want to do the same.
I don't know if they're like, they're not going to be like, oh yeah, you're like my most like narcissistic client.
Why not? They need to.
I know they should.
Because there's so many people I know that are in therapy, and I'm like, babe, it's not working. You need to get a different therapist.
Yeah.
And like I had a friend growing up who's like very mentally unwell, and she had the same therapist all through childhood, and like most of her 20s. She might still have this therapist.
God damn.
No, constant. She was going to him constantly. She would like tell me the things that her therapist have said, and was like, he like has me do these little like homework and all these things, but it was just so fucking stupid, and I felt like it was like keeping her stunted. Also, there's something of like a male doctor treating a female. Oh yeah, especially from a child. But like,
I'll never like it.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, like my first therapist was a male. I was like, I don't care. And then as soon as I got on the Zoom with him, I was like, fuck. I do care.
I do care. I will always.
I couldn't talk to him about sex stuff.
No. Well. Molly and Monica's Addiction Corner. I'm addicted to not working.
Molly, it's kind of similar to one from 2 weeks ago when you said you were addicted to do bare minimum.
I'm so addicted to doing nothing.
Coming in her pajamas, pillow in hand, already watching TikTok.
Linebacker, penalty number 56.
Jesus.
Okay, so I took 2 weeks off just to be like, I've been working hard. I've been popping my pussy
They
since
also didn't
like,
have anything
August.
for you.
They also, yes, I wasn't starting like my next coverage, the next desk that I was going to help on. I wasn't going to be on it for 2 weeks. And I was like, all right, I'm Audi 5000.
Yeah.
Like I have a lot of PTO. Let me just go and take these 2 weeks off. And when I tell you, I've been living my best life.
Doing nothing.
Doing nothing. I love waking up maybe at 11 a.m. or by noon. And I've been getting things. I deep cleaned my living room. I had big plans to deep clean my whole apartment, but at least I got my living room like deep cleaned. I put things together to take to Goodwill. And the way as it gets closer for me to go back to work on Monday, the more and more depressed I've gotten.
Yeah.
I couldn't even do my job and make some TikToks for our TikTok. And Monica was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm slacking." And she's like, "You're so depressed that you have to go back to work." But
Yeah.
I am.
I knew it right away.
No, I am. I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. Listen, this is the best job I've ever had. It's not bad. It's just
the concept of work. It's just the concept of work. You're gonna hate me for this. Capitalism. It's the cycle of capitalism.
And I'm sick of it. I'm tired. I'm so burnt out.
Which is so funny because you had 2 weeks to do nothing and you're still burnt out.
And I'm still burnt out.
Yeah. It's so weird because it's so ingrained in us and in our culture to contribute to the capitalist system that we actually don't even know how to relax anymore. It's crazy.
What did he say?
That's wild as fuck, dog. Spooky.
What am I addicted to?
Yeah, what are you addicted to? Hating me?
Kinda.
You are on one today. I have ruffled your feathers. I've really gotten under your skin.
Oh, I know what I'm addicted to.
What?
I'm addicted to the California Chicken Cafe's Caesar wrap. Honest to God, shout out to that fucking Caesar wrap.
Shout
from California Chicken Cafe. CCC, baby. Honestly, so fucking addicted to that wrap. Let me just, the pita chips and the chicken, and me and Molly probably get it every time that we record this podcast. We're probably single-handedly keeping that business afloat. If we have to, we'll order it from Postmates, and anytime we order it, they give us they'll give us chicken samples.
Yeah, little rotisserie chicken samples.
And the doggies go crazy.
The pups go nuts.
But we're just sitting here in silence.
And all you hear is the crunch, the loud fucking chiropractic crunch of those fucking pita chips.
And I've convinced myself they're healthy.
I've fully convinced myself that wrap is healthy.
Yeah. It's a Caesar. And it's got Caesar dressing. They put mayo in it.
Mayo.
Fuck.
See, I do an add-on with Parmesan cheese.
Honestly, you said that last time and I was like, what the fuck?
Sometimes you just be getting a mouthful of pita chips and parm. And it's fucking delicious.
And they're also huge. Like, it's $10 for this wrap, but it's huge.
You eat one half, and then later on for dinner you eat the other half.
Exactly. And I'll get it with the goddess, green goddess.
That's elite.
Little dipping. And when you get a little dry spot, you just put some of that.
That's an elite move for sure.
So good. Honestly, California Chicken Cafe, reach out.
Reach out. We love you.
We love you.
We love you so much.
Kiss, kiss, hug, hug.
She is that girl.
She's that girl. You guys could do no wrong.
Diva.
Thank you.
We love you. Yeah, I want a whole rotisserie chicken from them sometime.
Honestly, yeah, that's a good idea.
I did want some rotisserie chicken. You know what we probably should talk about? The Oscars.
So
it's probably fucking Oppenheimer's gonna fucking sweep everything.
That's the thing. Is like, it's Oppenheimer, it's Killers of the Flower Moon, it's Greta Gerwig didn't get a nomination for Best Directing.
Same shit, different year.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's like a lot to choose from the past year. One of my absolute favorite movies, well, two of my absolute favorite movies were Past Lives. Such a good film. It's fantastic. And Saltburn.
Yeah.
I'm Emerald Fennell's bitch, you know?
Yeah.
So, but
Saltburn was my absolute favorite.
Yeah.
For sure.
And it didn't get any noms. So for Best Picture, Maestro, that's another one that I'm like, why is this getting fucking nominations?
I couldn't even fucking finish it. I was bored out of my fucking mind.
Everybody has been. Like, I don't know anybody that's been like, I really liked Maestro. It's worth the 3 hours I spent watching it.
I mean, people at work.
Oh, but you work for the enemy.
Well, they're not the enemy.
Netflix.
They're my daddy. Anyways, yeah, people at work, because I work at Netflix, they everyone was like, oh, I wasn't expecting to like feel so many emotions and cry, and you know, I personally couldn't get through.
Honestly,
so.
it's a movie that is probably good. And like, obviously, because it's got an Oscar nom, you know, like a lot of people thought it was good, but I'm just like, for myself, I'm going to have to probably get high and watch it so that I could really focus, or turn it on when I'm like cleaning my living room. Or
it's also, let's be real, that's not a movie for the fucking public. That's not a movie for the public. That's a movie for Hollywood.
Yes, absolutely. And that's, the Oscars love movies for Hollywood.
Exactly. And that's where I think it's just a little, the whole Academy Awards, Oscars, and I think that's the public. They're like, it's just so out of touch.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know if it's always been out of touch, but you know, it's been out of, like, how many times can we nominate Martin Scorsese?
I know.
How many more times can we fucking nominate him? I don't think The Irishman should have been nominated at all.
The Irishman was absolute dog shit.
Absolute dog shit, and that's still, I'm pretty sure, won some shit.
Yeah. I remember, so I hadn't formed a huge opinion of Martin Scorsese. I was like, yeah, he's got some good ones, but they're always long, right? But then my friend invited me to the premiere at the Chinese Theater. And I was like, oh, hell yeah. I got all dressed up. I went down on, you know, Hollywood Boulevard, and they had all that fun stuff on the red carpet. Sat down in an old ass seat at the Chinese theater.
An old ass
For
uncomfortable.
4 fucking hours. My knees are to my chest.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dear God.
Dear fucking God. I think
And
it took me
couldn't
3
care
days to watch that movie.
Yeah, I couldn't care about that movie any less. I didn't care about any of the characters.
No.
I was distracted by Robert De Niro's blue eyes and like the weird CGI they did on his face.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, whatever. I did enjoy watching Killers of the Flower Moon.
I did too, actually.
Even though it was long. It's just, but that's also such a departure from his normal, like, Quentin Tarantino, white boy shit. You know, like, Italian, Irish.
He loves
what
the
is
mafia.
it? Mafia, yeah.
He loves the mafia.
Shit. And I'm just like, also, I would pay Martin Scorsese to make a film in 90 minutes. That's a 90-minute film.
Yeah.
Like, he couldn't do it.
No.
He couldn't make a good film that short. And that, to me, is like a huge flaw in a filmmaker.
It's like asking us to make a 30-minute episode.
Yeah.
We can't do that.
It's a huge flaw in podcasters.
We're yapping.
Yeah. So I'm just like, I'm so whatever about Martin Scorsese, but
I like
Past Lives was nominated for Best Picture, and it's kind of the only thing. I think there's one other thing, but
I didn't watch Past Lives, one because everyone said it made them cry, and I was like, I don't know if I want to cry right now, so I haven't watched it. And then I heard that Scott Rudin ghost produced it.
Why do you keep bringing that up to me?
Sorry.
You bitch. It's really good. I mean, like, if you're ever in your feels deeply and you're like, I need to cry, you could watch it. Or if you're ever in an amazing place, you could watch it, you know?
Okay.
And it won't like drag you down. It's this very sweet story. It's not like what I've heard about Iron Claw, where you're just like crying and crying and crying and crying.
Oh, but I do want to see Iron Claw.
Like, Past Lives is like, it's just so beautiful, and the way that they look at life is so beautiful. And it's just like about these two people. What do you think about Poor Things? Did you hear anything about that one?
I haven't seen Poor Things either. I know you have seen it, and I've been wanting to see it. I think it looks like a really cool, creative, fun movie.
It's really great.
Yeah, and it seems really different, and
Yes.
I think that's what's very much needed in cinema. So I've only heard good things about it, to be honest.
Yeah, I really loved Poor Things because it was mostly practical. Like, because it's kind of like this ethereal, like, alternate dimension type of a thing. It's so fantastical and ethereal, and then it's like randomly, like, okay, here's an argument. Barbie is a film about girlhood and womanhood and what it means to be a woman. It's a huge tentpole movie, but
For sure.
you know, like, made the most amount of money last year.
Absolutely. I think it's the most relatable, to be honest.
Poor Things is about girlhood and womanhood and what it means to be a woman and learning that.
Wow.
And Poor Things does it better.
Fascinating. Okay.
Which, I mean, like, and in a sense, here's the thing. On the page, Poor Things does it better. In just like the nuance that it brings and the way that you feel it and the way that you're like, oh my God, like this character is learning how to be a woman in the same way, and she's feeling the same things and the confusion and the anger in the same way I feel it and felt it growing up. And with Barbie, I feel like it was like, and then there's this happening, and then there's this happening, and then it's also, remember womanhood? And it's kind of like hitting you over the head with like whereas Poor Things might be a beautiful poem about womanhood, Barbie is, you know, those like those like science fair like cardboards where it's just pictures and it's like womanhood. And so I think like the nuance is what's so beautiful about Poor Things in that story sense. Now, here's a critique I've heard and I think I agree with. Barbie was written and directed by a woman, and there's like so much more authenticity to that.
Yes.
Just inherently. And the way that you run a set and you create these characters with these actors, and there's so much more authenticity to that. Poor Things was written and directed by a man. And it's kind of like, why is a man writing about becoming a woman? And then there's like the concept with Poor Things is that she is a woman who is in a grown woman's body, but she has a young woman's mind.
Yes. Okay.
You know, it's
and
kind
I feel
of
you
like
can capture that from the trailer for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's like, why there's an argument that like we sexualize girlhood because a huge part of the plot is like her wanting to go out and have sex. And she's a very sexual being, and it's kind of like that id versus ego thing. And she is a grown woman, which most grown women are not controlled by their id anymore.
Yeah.
You know, that's something a child is controlled by. But this woman is controlled by her id, and so it's like a grown female with all of her female parts and all of her grown female desires is also highly sexualized because she doesn't have to control that part of her brain, you know, but she's learning to. So so it's this concept of like, why do men always write or want to always write and like create these female characters that are so highly sexualized? And it's kind of like why are you so interested in a grown woman acting childish? It's like the men that are into baby, you know, talk and shit like that.
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts, a lot of opinions now that you've pointed that out. And I think when it comes to
it's a fair argument.
It's a fair argument. And listen, I haven't seen Poor Things. For Barbie at least, and watching it for the first time and like going to the theaters and the whole experience of it, I will say that was it's very comforting and digestible. Yes, certainly. Because, that's how I think it just looked at like a very, like it went like double tapped in on a part of girlhood of when we are playing with Barbies. And that's a significant part of girlhood. And just, there was like a lot going on, but at the same time, there were so many jokes and sentiments that really hit home. Yeah.
I'll never get over the Pride and Prejudice joke. I'll never get over it.
Exactly.
The way I felt like she was pointing at me through the screen. This dumb bitch.
Yeah. And then the, what do they do? Your long distance, non-committal, whatever, girlfriend. Yes. Things like that. And I just really enjoyed it. And I think the public enjoyed it. And that's why it was the best movie. Yeah. Girlhood, womanhood is so complex. Yeah.
And I also have to think about like the like stuff outside of like the art of making a film, where it's like Greta Gerwig probably had so many more executives, and especially Mattel executives, that are very particular about how you talk about their product.
Exactly.
And Yorgos Lanthimos is just kind of like, he's an indie dude, and he had people that believed in him, and they're like, whatever you want,
whatever.
So he could be more nuanced. Like, I'll never get over. I mean, loved the Barbie movie for what it is. I don't think that it's a profoundly amazing story, so I don't think it's going to win story stuff for the Oscars. But I'll never get over how disappointed I was and how I was kind of like holding back laughter during America Ferrera's speech.
That speech, I was
just like, did she pull it from Tumblr? Like,
yes, I will say I loved the movie all the way up, and then it got to that part, and I was like, oh, this is a little much.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, everything she's saying is absolutely true.
Yeah. It's just like shit that I've read on the, ever since I was playing with Barbies, like I'm very aware of all of that.
We're very aware.
The thing is that like nobody makes a change to all of that. You have to be skinny, but you can't be too skinny. And I'm just like, okay.
It's like, thanks for reiterating.
Yeah, exactly.
That we already fucking know. I think there could have been probably a more prophetic way of saying all of that.
Exactly.
Instead of pointing out kind of the obvious.
So
look at this combo.
I know. Who do you think is going to win Best Picture?
It's probably going to be fucking... With all that to be said, it's probably going to be fucking Oppenheimer.
That's so annoying. I'm seeing who else is on it.
Girlhood and womanhood is so complex. I bet the atom bomb is a girl.
No. Girlhood is so complex. We just had that long ass conversation. Then the Academy is gonna be like, we like this bum.
We like bum.
We like bum.
We like bum. We like death. Big Bang.
Where a movie where no two women speak to each other.
And we see Cillian Murphy's dick.
Hot man.
Hot man.
Love that man.
Thanks, Ireland.
Thank you.
Thank
Holy
you.
shit. Send more.
Send more.
Double the order.
Bulk order. Thank you.
I think it could be. So that's why I'm like, it could be that or
Yeah.
Oppenheimer or Killers of the Flower Moon. What a year to be a man.
What a year to be a man. This is the year of the man.
Year of man.
Year of the man. 2024.
Show me that dick.
Man. Get your dick out.
I want to suck it.
Monica. I'm just a girl. I'm just a girl living in the year of men, 2024.
Year of men. Year of men. Year of men. Year of men.
You know what's bad is that my neighbor Connor, shout out to Connor. I don't know if he's ever listened to our podcast. He might have, but once I told him that I'm in comedy and I have a podcast and whatnot. I told him I was recording today, and he's like, "You just gonna shit on men the whole time?" And I said, "Yeah, I am, actually." So I don't know if he's listening or not, but this one's for you, Connor.
Thanks, Connor.
Thanks, Connor. It's the year of the man.
Speaking of men, this is a terrible segue. We talked about Twilight this week.
Ah, yes.
And movies. Do you know if it ever won an Oscar? Did Twilight ever win an Oscar?
Monica, why would you ever ask that? No, it never won an Oscar.
Really?
But it should have.
That is the general consensus these days.
If we could give an Oscar for aesthetics, I think Twilight would have sweeped.
Did you read the book?
Absolutely, I read the book. This is what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Oh, I read all the books.
You were obsessed with all of them all the way through?
So I didn't, I was typical of, I think, once the movie was like announced and there was a trailer and I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, it's based on a book. Let me go get the book.
Okay.
So I think I was reading the book as I went to go see the first movie.
So you never imagined Edward and Bella outside of the actors that portrayed them?
Precisely.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah.
I'm that way with Harry Potter, but okay. And you liked all of the books. You read all of them.
Addicted to them. Yeah.
Wow.
Loved them.
I got into Twilight probably like 2 years before the movie came out.
Nice.
I was so obsessed with the first book. I low-key kind of want to reread it and see what like hooked me so hard. My friend that I was talking about earlier that with a terrible therapist like recommended it to me. Read it so fast. I was so into it.
Yeah.
I had different interpretations of everybody involved, so like I was I remember as a child being disappointed in all of the casting.
You didn't portray my book right.
Yeah, exactly. And just the way that your imagination is so much better than that film, than like at least my imagination, the fucking sparkling skin and like all the beautiful locations and everything. It was all just so much better in my brain. Anyways,
Monica.
I was like, holy shit, this is the best book ever. I want to talk to everybody about it. And I started passing it around at the only place I was socialized at the time, which is church. So I'm like, I got my sister to read it. I got my friends to read it. And like all the adults were kind of like, what's going on? Like, why are all these girls fucking horny?
Horny.
Why are they horny for a vampire?
Ice dick.
Exactly. That book is not that sexual,
No.
But at church, it's so, because the theory, the motif of vampirism is sex coded.
Yeah.
They were all just kind of like, what? Why are these girls reading about men sucking blood out of women? Why is it this, and they're just kind of like, what's going on? The second book, I think, had just come out. So I started reading the second book, was a little bit more disappointed by that one. It's so jarring when at the beginning Edward fucking leaves, you know?
Yeah, that one's so deeply
and then
sad.
it's like, it's all about Jacob. And I was kind of pro Jacob. I was team Edward, to be clear, but I was like,
I was always team Edward. I love a toxic man, and Edward's so toxic.
no, it is insane that he crawled into her window and watched her sleep. That is fucking creepy. Anyways, but
if he wanted to, he would.
But would
Ladies?
I sleep with my window open sometimes? Yeah. No, okay. So
that's hilarious.
at church, I got my friend Cassidy, shout out Cassidy, to read this book. And she read the second one too. She, loved the first one, reads the second one. And in the second one, Edward leaves, and it triggered her so hard because she comes from like a broken family, and like abandonment is like a huge thing,
Yeah.
And so like she was so, I don't know the full details of it, but she was so shook by it. And she had like mentors at the church that were like helping take care of her, and like they were like, because it wasn't a therapist, but they were basically therapists and ingratiating themselves into people's lives, because it was a small church, and churches fucking do that, and it's fucked up. But
This is true.
And rather than being like, wow, Cassidy needs help, Cassidy should go to a therapist and talk about these feelings, they go, that book is evil.
God damn them.
That is of the devil.
It's girlhood. It's girlhood.
It is so insane, their reaction. And
That's insane.
me and my friend got in trouble, but it was like our parents weren't mad. Like my dad was like, you shouldn't be reading that book. But like my dad was also very involved at the church and like had a low-key job there. And so he like kind of was like checking a box. He was like not really worried about me.
Yeah.
But he was also just like, it's not good. And I'm just like, well, I'm going to keep reading it. And he's like, but it's not good. And I was like, okay, anyways. I think he also realized how ridiculous it was that like these elders at this church are blaming the book for this girl's like traumatization rather than the root cause
of her trauma.
And
that's nuts.
And it was so funny because that elder like got in front of the church one Sunday and was like during announcements, and was like, I just have to address something that's been going on our campus. And I got Twilight banned at my church.
Monica. Okay, slay the boots house down.
But like it was so funny because like I was sitting towards the back with my family. There were not a lot of people at that church, and he's right in front of me. He positions himself so he's looking directly at me.
In the back, like Jack Nicholson from The Shining.
The thing is, I was like, I'm not letting you have the satisfaction. I'm not turning my eyes down. I'm looking you right in the eye. At 16 years old, I'm just like, and it's a fucking book, brother, about vampires.
It's about vampires and werewolves.
Yeah, like get a fucking life. And it was so funny because one of my mom's church friend, she turns around and she like whispers to me, she's like, was that you? Or she was like, do you read that book? And I was like, yeah. And she goes, And I was just like, I don't give a fuck, but I just love that I got it.
Twilight also became such like a phenomenon
yes.
afterwards.
Oh yeah.
So wow, that really
nobody gave a fuck.
No one gave a fuck, and you got.
And it's so funny because I was such a crusader for it. The movie came out, hated it.
Sad.
The next book came out, couldn't finish it. I never finished the books.
You didn't finish Eclipse?
I didn't finish Eclipse because it was torture to read.
You're flipping back and forth from like Edward's point of view.
No, not that. It's the fucking vocabulary of this woman. I was she used the same adjectives over and over and over and over again.
Yes.
And I was just like, this is actually garbage.
For a girl with ADHD,
you loved it.
Of course I did.
Yeah,
because I was like, thanks for using.
It felt like exactly. It felt like a blog post, that got fleshed out a bit more. But I was just like, this is actually really bad.
I will say that
so
sometimes she used for young girls, she brought some new words into my vocabulary.
Quiver. That was one of that was one of the ones that was the last straw to me. I was like, how many times is Bella gonna fucking quiver?
Like, fucking, you're a chihuahua, you quivering ass bitch. Yeah, sometimes I get really annoyed with Bella because I was like, you're such a little bitch.
No, she's so annoying.
Like, buck the fuck up.
Yeah. So.
But also, wasn't Twilight like technically a fan fiction of 50 Shades of Grey, or was or is it the other way around?
50 Shades of Grey was a fan fiction of Twilight.
There's two.
Twilight, it was fan fiction though.
Was Twilight fan fiction?
Or it's like an allegory because the Stephanie Meyers is Mormon.
Yeah.
And it's like an allegory for God's love for us or something like that. But it's like the Mormon God or something like because it's like you get to be part of this like elite group of people, aka vampires, and that's Mormonism for you, babes.
I don't know what to say, but fuck the church.
I just love that I got Twilight banned at my church.
I really love that for you.
Yeah,
I really love. That's a really good redemption arc.
It's like a little.
No, you need like
badge.
You need a little badge,
a
of
little
honor.
pin.
That's adorable. I love that you did that.
Terrible movies.
Yeah, she loves the movie.
Oh my god, I remember.
We all know that they're terrible, but at the same time, that's why we love them.
I know that that's the thing. There's some movies I can get over that with, and I can't with Twilight. I remember seeing, I think it was Eclipse in theaters because I had a friend who got a bunch of free tickets, and so me and my sister went, and a bunch of other people, but me and my sister were sitting next to each other, just laughing the whole time because we were like, what the fuck is this fucking story?
I love it.
I commend you. Did you have your first kiss around the time that Twilight was in your brain?
No, Twilight came afterwards. Before that, I got my first kiss when I was a sophomore in high school. I guess I would have been 15. And I had this major crush on this boy. His name was Marcus. And he looked like Shane West from A Walk to Remember, the actor.
Oh my God. Ideal man.
I was obsessed. I saw him one time. Okay, so this is the lore. This is the lore. Freshman year of high school, I had bronchitis for a full week. I stayed home and hyper fixated on A Walk to Remember. I watched it
such a great movie
multiple times every day for a week. I was obsessed. I was obsessed with the vibes.
Many more song in that one.
Many more song, many more hair, many more skin. Landon, Shane West.
Yeah.
Everything about him. What a vibe. The spring North Carolinian vibes, which I always love, just feels so nostalgic for me. That's why I love a Nicholas Sparks movie. And I was obsessed. And then that next week when I had to go to school, I had to go to like the guidance counselors or whatever. You would think the one song from Twilight when Marcus walked in and he had cheetah bleach spots on his hair, and I think he was wearing like a Paramore shirt. He was very edgy, and that Twilight song was like da, da, da. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. That's what I fucking would have probably heard in my brain when I saw him, because I was like, this man looks like Shane West. And I didn't know his name. So of course I had to go to the yearbook, and I knew he was probably a year older, and went through every picture until I found him. And then I was fully
the original online stalking.
The original online stalking. Got to go to my previous yearbook or whatever. And I was so obsessed with him, and my friend Julia that next year, sophomore year, started dating his one of his best friends.
Okay.
And
this is so exciting for you.
It was so exciting. And then Julia and her boyfriend were like, oh my God, Molly and Marcus, would be like perfect together.
Oh my God.
We are both cancers.
Oh my God. Toxic.
I'm pretty sure Marcus is fully on the spectrum. And I was so incredibly shy then. Yeah. Very, very shy. Except I wasn't around my friends. So, I was myself around my friends, was very entertaining. But at school and around boys, terribly shy. So it did not work out between me and Marcus. But
you did kiss him?
Yes. He leaned in and kissed me after, I think, might have been after the Sadie Hawkins dance. I asked him to the Sadie Hawkins dance.
Oh my God.
And he missed my mouth. He hit the top, and I just froze. Like, I could have just easily moved my head.
Yeah.
I just froze. And then he froze, and he pulled back, and he ran to his car.
No!
Yeah.
But were you like, That was amazing.
I was so dramatic. I came in the door, like my mom and my two best friends were right there, and they're like, "Did he kiss you?" And I shut the door, and I slid down the door, and I was like, "That was the most embarrassing thing I've ever done in my entire life."
Not you sliding down the door.
Sliding down the door. That was my indie
That's
movie.
So cute. Yeah.
That's
your perks of being a wallflower.
Yeah, that was my Oscar nominated moment in my life. And that was my kiss. My first kiss.
That is so like teen movie.
I don't have a lot of teen movie moments, but that was a teen movie
good
moment.
one. Yeah.
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 That was a good one. What about you?
Mine was not like that at all.
Hey, listen, a majority of things in my life are not that well written.
Mine, I wish I could forget. I remember after it happened, I was like, I'm never going to tell anybody that was my first kiss. I was like, my next kiss is my first kiss.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell both of them because they happened 2 days or like a day apart. My friend Sarah, who I used to smoke weed with all the time when I was like 14, 15, which I was probably 15 or 16 or newly 16 whenever this happened. But I would go to her house and we would either sneak out and like go smoke weed or smoke weed in her room, and you like blow it out through like a toilet paper roll that has air fresheners in it.
Yeah. I would just crack open a fucking window like my Catholic fucking neighbors wouldn't see me.
But so this one particular night, she got us some original Four Locos.
Crazy time.
I was just gonna spend the night at her house, and she was like, "Hey, this guy I'm talking to is gonna come over. Do you want him to bring his friend?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." I was like, "Is he cute? What kind of guy?" Because she's always seeing new guys. And so her house was on an acre, so she had a really big front yard and a really big backyard.
Wow.
And she would have guys go get to their backyard through the people that live behind them and just like climb the fence.
Yeah.
Because it's just a chain link fence.
Yeah.
And then we'd like go hang out in the woods in their backyard because their parents couldn't see because it was like woodsy.
Yeah.
And then they had like a shed back there that was kind of like a barn shed. So it's like big and you can hide in there. And so this guy, I smoke weed, I drink my Four Loko. This is such a terrible story.
Is so iconic, and yes, I have very similar stories.
So these two guys come walking out of the woods, and there's Sarah's boy. He's like this cute Mexican, and behind him is this not cute Mexican.
Oh no!
He was like, I don't even know anybody famous to compare him to. I just know that he was like kind of lanky. They were both like urban wear, type of a thing. They had really big clothes on. Yeah. So like, as far as I knew, he was like skinny. Yeah. Small. He had a really short cut hair, like almost like a buzz cut. Yeah. And he had a pencil mustache.
God damn.
And I go, that's my guy.
That's my man.
I was like,
by him.
I was like, dear God, no. But I was like already a little bit inebriated, and I was like, I was also mad at like other things going on in my life. So I was like, I'm gonna make out with this guy. And Sarah, my friend Sarah, she. We went into this barn, and she had told me, she was like, we're gonna have sex, so just like, so you know.
That is so unhinged.
So that was before they showed up. She's like, hey, we're gonna have sex. Yeah. But we're gonna have to like do it in the same area. So just like, so you know, I'm gonna have sex near you. And I was like, God. Sarah, I have known since I was like months old. You know, like we're one of those types of friends. And I still know her and love her dearly to this day. But it's so funny because we were fucking unhinged teenagers.
Unhinged teenagers. It's kind of wild.
Yeah,
and I do with your childhood.
Yeah, friends. And of course, like at the time, I'm thinking, oh, I'm just gonna make out with this guy, and he's like, I'm gonna fuck this random chick. Because his friend is getting fucked. Yeah. You know, so let's both have sex in this big barn in your backyard. Yeah. So Sarah, the other thing is that Sarah's on her period.
Jesus Christ. The layers.
So Sarah's having sex in like one corner of the barn, and I'm making out with this guy, and It's terrible because like I go for his top lip, so I feel his fucking pencil mustache, and I hate it. And we make out, and he tries to fuck me, and I'm just like, no. And then he just rubs his dick on me, and I'm just like, all right, I'm kind of done. And we're just kind of like, while Sarah's getting plowed,
getting fucking taken to pound.
No, and it's so funny because whenever they like come out of the shadows, both covered in blood. It was salt burn up in this.
Being a teenager is so fucking embarrassing.
It is.
And it's so jarring.
It is.
Really
it is. But I did love learning early on that like you should be able to have sex on your period.
Absolutely.
Like men should not be making you feel bad for that.
No,
but
fuck no.
It was so funny because I was mad about outside things, and then the next day I snuck out of my house to hang out with my like ultimate high school crush, Caleb. I was so obsessed with him, which is so embarrassing looking back on it because he's not cute.
Oh no, yeah,
he's not cute. He was just like the most alt looking boy at my church.
Yeah.
But I snuck out with him, and we made out in his car, and
cute.
That was like by that time I was already over him mostly because I had moved on to another dude, but to be obsessed with. But I really wanted to like kind of climb that mountain, conquer. I wanted to conquer that crush, you know?
Absolutely.
I wanted the end of that crush to be, and we made out. And, you know, but it's so funny because like those two kisses were back to back. And I was like, I don't want anybody to know about pencil mustache dude. So as far as I'm concerned, my first kiss is Caleb, who it was my like high school, middle school crush, for years and years. And I like agonized over this man. And then I finally got him.
Did it opposite to me because, you know, a couple months later I went, no, maybe not even a couple, no, it was like the next year. I snuck out of my house, went to a little house party, drank Smirnoff Ices, and my second kiss was like making out with this dude who told everyone that me, him, and my friend had a threesome.
Oh my God.
And it was the
men
same.
don't deserve us.
They don't deserve. And it was like I was on my period, and I had this thick, huge pad on at the time, and he wanted to like go further than making out, and I was like, no, I'm on my period, and then it's just him rubbing his dick on my thick, huge pad that like I can't fucking feel shit.
No, that's exactly what happened.
And I'm like,
that's so funny how similar they are, but they're opposite.
They're opposite. And I remember, so you know that I have crushes for years. So I had a crush on Marcus for like 3 fucking years, and was absolutely devastated that we didn't work out.
Yeah,
and took it personally. I was like, it's because I'm so shy. Whatever. No, the man can't make conversation. This was such a girlhood, womanhood episode.
It was. Yeah.
How chaotic it is.
I know.
I love it.
Well, everybody, tell us about your first kisses in the comments.
Now you know our deepest, darkest secrets.
I wonder if men think about their first kisses as much as we think about ours. Or like, you know, built it up in our heads.
Oh, I'm sure. I feel like
you think they do?
I think they do.
Okay,
that's probably
cool.
the only genuine
Men,
thing.
Let us know. Let us know. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for listening to us.
Follow us on TikTok.
Follow us on TikTok and on Instagram at socials.podcast.
Thanks so much.
Toodles.
Bye.